Okay, welcome to 1 Minute Left, powered by HDR, and I'm your host, Remy Fry.
And I am the co-host, BB, aka Brianna. Y'all know who I am. Anyways, welcome to 1 Minute Left, like Remy just said. So tonight we are going to be collaborating with the Tremaine Wood Foundation, and we're going to be exploring their experience throughout Tremaine's journey to redemption. For anybody that does not know, Tremaine recently received clemency in early November, moments before his scheduled execution. So now the Tremaine Wood Foundation has shifted its focus from saving Tremaine to new endeavors, and we're going to explore those endeavors here on 1 Minute Left tonight. So as y'all can see, we have a new person, and I don't know if she's on the left or on the right. I don't know which orientation she's on, but please give me a hand in welcoming Savannah Izuga, and her sister in spirit, Jasmine Boyd, who is not here on the camera, but she is also a part of the Tremaine Wood Foundation. Round of applause for them. Hey, thank you
I
guys
got
so
my
much.
Tremaine Wood shirt on tonight.
Yes,
She's on.
Yes.
Yes. I want my shirt. I want a shirt.
we'll get you, girl. We
So
got you.
Yes, I want a
let's
yellow shirt if you
begin.
have one.
Yeah, I don't know if they have yellow. He said just green and blue.
Yeah, we have green.
Yeah,
But you know
yeah,
what? Green is my favorite color too. So
yeah.
we could do green. Me and Remy could match. I'm okay with that. But anyway, enough about all of that fun stuff. Let's just get right into it and just start talking about you. So, just Savannah, tell us about your organization and your relationship with Tremaine.
Okay, well, thank you so much, ladies, for having me today, having the Tremaine Wood Foundation on. We have basically been working with Tremaine Wood and established this foundation as of 2022, and have been, as you know, up until pretty much this point, been working to advocate for Tremaine Wood for his clemency for his life. And we have several members on our foundation. I'm just basically the social media liaison of the group, but we have several other members that are both um, his family and other friends and other associates of Tremaine's that work on the foundation with me. So we pretty much just come together and tried to rally for Tremaine. And now that his life has been spared, by the grace of God, really, honestly,
Man.
we're able to continue the work of the foundation, which I know we're going to get into later. So I'll explain more about that later.
Yes. I'm so excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
So were you guys, and I know like mainly Savannah and your sister Jasmine, y'all were the
Well,
main
I'm
people that
Savannah.
you're Savannah, but your sister Jasmine,
Hmm.
you guys were both talking with me and stuff like that about Tremaine and things of that nature. Were you
Hmm.
guys advocates before you guys entered the Tremaine Wood Foundation realm, or like is
Hmm.
this kind of like your first experience or adventure with advocacy?
Yeah, so we have been advocating for not necessarily death row exclusively, but incarcerated individuals for several years. We've been active, whether it be people that we knew personally, like community wise, or whether it be our personal family members that have been in and out of the system throughout the years. We've dealt with a lot when it came to advocating and being the voice for those that were locked up. So we have had some experience with a lot of people that have been locked up in the past, but I would say that this is our first time that we've ever dealt with a death row situation, and kind of opened our eyes to what that looks like when it comes to really trying to save someone's life. And we are grateful for this experience with the death row, because it's opened us up to even more advocacy when it comes to the foundation, when it comes to working with you all with with DHR, or humanizing death row, excuse me, HDR. So
You
yeah,
know,
we
we
I
we
mean
have a hard time remembering HDR. We don't
the
know which
letter.
one. We don't know if it's RDH. We don't know
I
if it's
tried to shorten it.
DRH.
Yeah, I
We
tried to
try,
shorten it.
we
I
don't
tried to
know.
shorten
So
it.
it's okay.
Humanizing
We
death
make the
row.
same
Yeah.
mistake. It's
Yeah.
all good.
But we're so thankful for this opportunity to, be involved and to be active and to be advocates now and to be as active as we are in the foundation, and to move forward, because there's so much that needs to be done. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
voices that need to be heard. There's so much activism. There's so much change that can be made. There's so many things that, for anyone to say, what good am I, or what good can I do, or I'm just another person. No, you're not. You are help. Like, you're a voice, you're a body, you're another number, you're the count, we need you. So yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's opened up our eyes to where the active energy is going to go, for sure.
Absolutely. How did you guys get to know Tremaine Wood? How did you guys meet him?
So we have known Tremaine for many years. He has just been, we've had a close personal relationship with our family and Tremaine's family for many years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we had kind of a personal bond, a closeness. And we have since since everything has happened and we've been fighting for his clemency, we have grown closer with his family. We worked hand in hand with his family, his mother, his brother, his, a lot of people in his family
Mm-hmm.
to put this Tremaine Wood Foundation together and really to make it a real thing, and have it a positive change.
All right.
That's beautiful.
It
So
is.
are his family members also a part of the Tremaine Wood Foundation as well? Okay.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Awesome. So before we move on to, what the 90-day countdown looked like, I just want to take this time right now to thank both you and your sister for being here. I know she's not here physically, but she is with you guys in spirit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
thank you guys so much for giving us the opportunity to interview you, and thank you guys so much for answering our questions.
Yeah.
So as we segue into the next topic,
Mhm.
walk us through the experience that you had during the 90-day countdown. So Tremaine gets a date. We have 90 days from that date. What was it like, and what strategies did you guys use to advocate for Tremaine?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it was really tough for us when the 90 days started, because it was kind of like one of those things where his date had gotten moved around so much. It was
It
almost like,
did.
okay, is this the real 90-day count? Like,
I was confused.
we weren't even
Yeah.
really 100% sure if that was going to be the final date or not, because it, like I said, it got moved so many times. His death date had gotten moved. So, that obviously puts a wrench in things, because you never know, like, you don't know when it's the real deal or when it's not. So you kind of
Yeah.
just have to treat everything like it's the real deal. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think, one of the things that we did to really push advocacy is to partner with you guys, to be honest with you. Like, thank you guys so much. I mean, Humanizing Death Row was really helped us out a lot, working with you all, partnering with you. And we will continue to partner with you, I'm sure, in the future with
Of
many
course.
things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that was something that, we needed to do. And then also, just starting our social media campaign as quickly as we
Mm-hmm.
could, trying to get, I would say, especially hitting hard that last 30 days
Yeah,
was really just,
I think that for
Yeah.
sure was
Yeah.
really crunch time for a lot of you
Man.
guys. Like, we were
Mhm.
literally we were reposting every single day, literally.
every day,
I
every day.
cried some
Literally.
tears. I cried some tears. I was stressed. I was like,
Mhm.
come on, Lord, I need you
Remy
to,
was so stressed,
work it.
y'all.
I was so
Mhm.
stressed. I was like,
I
because
know.
I've lost so many along the way. And I was like, I
Mhm.
didn't know back then as much as I know now. And so this time I
Right.
was like,
Mhm.
it wasn't going to happen. I was like, I got to figure out how to do this. And I was like, post, 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 tag the governor, tag the governor, tag the governor. I was like, I got to make sure we get it out there,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we didn't want to lose him. Absolutely
No.
didn't.
No.
Didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And and another thing, like you were asking about, like, what were some of the challenges that we had faced, like,
Hmm.
throughout the 90 days. And like, one of the big things was like, we felt like we had like an invisible like gag order on us, you know, so to speak. Like we felt like there were a lot
Yeah.
of things that we couldn't talk about, we couldn't bring to the public's attention like we wanted to. Like there were
Mhm.
some things like misconduct type things, like other things that were going on that we were not able to really express. But I will say this to our viewer and our listener, like like we're wanting to get to a place where we can share that more of that with our listener and with the viewer and the community. Like we want to get to the place of the foundation where we can speak on these issues that we were not able to speak on prior to the clemency coming down, if you know what I mean. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
just things like that that were very difficult because you know you have a certain parameter in which you can function. You know, there are lawyers involved, attorneys, there are legal matters, there are media laws, there are all these things, you know, in place. And so that was definitely a challenge, was, you know, working around those limitations for sure.
Yeah. I definitely can understand that because,
Mhm.
man, I was in the comments every
Man,
single day with a
fighting,
different person
fighting.
every
It was like
single
war
day.
in the
Oh my
comments.
goodness. And then it got worse as it got closer to the 30 days, man. I'm like, bro, these people have nothing to do. They have nothing to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, it was
But
we actually I want to make a comment on that. We actually and I didn't know this until I don't know how it happened. I didn't know this until after the clemency had already come down, but we had actually gotten harassed
oh,
on our Tremaine Wood Foundation website, cuz you know how when you go on someone's website you can ask questions on the website.
Yes. Uh-huh.
One of those people that well you're talking about, BB, that was just on the internet trolling, got on our website and just trolled and just like asked a bunch of questions over the same question 1,000 times, just over and over again, was saying hateful things, was giving, you know, saying horrible things in the private messages. So yeah, we dealt
yeah,
with those same
let's
issues.
let's talk about that
Yeah.
because y'all want to say y'all people in the comments want to say that you know that these people on death row did these horrible things and things of that nature. And while that may or may not be very true,
Yeah.
let's talk about what they do in the comments. We've
Mhm.
had we've had fry him, we've
Yep.
had
Oh, I know.
we've had
I've
hang
seen it.
him, we've had
Yeah.
firing squad, we've had
I know.
we've
Horrible.
had the most egregious comments from
Hmm.
people, and
In
that's
90
why
days. It was,
Hmm.
it was
I
and
just
know.
I never had it
insane.
until these 90 days came down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just sad that we don't have more human decency in the world anymore. We don't have more it's like brotherly love in general, you know. And that's another thing that we want to push, you know, as a foundation, the advocacy of just what you're talking about, Remy, which is humanizing these people and making
Mhm.
them seem like this could be your brother, your uncle, your sister, your grandmother, your grandpa. I mean, it could literally be anyone in your family. And
Yeah.
so, and even the like, and it goes both ways for the victim and also for the person who committed the crime. I mean, just like the humanizing death row part of it, like why do you want to take another life? Like you're now we're taking another life. It's already bad
Mhm.
enough someone lost their life in the original crime, and now we're going to take even more lives. It's just, you know, unfortunate. So yeah, that's definitely, I mean, something we want to advocate for is like, you know, when it comes to death row and when it comes to
And the stress on the family, you know,
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
I've seen so many mothers' health deteriorate
Ugh.
because of having their child on death row. I've heard so many mothers say, you know, I didn't have high blood pressure until my child got on death row. I mean, I'm losing my hair. I can't
Night
sleep. You
terrors.
know, yeah,
yeah,
like, you know, just constantly not knowing when the last phone call is this going to be the last time I talk to my child.
Right.
One of the guys was talking to me earlier today. He was like, a lady asked him, are you going to allow your mother to come in there when you get executed? And he was like, I don't want my mom to remember me that way, you know,
oh,
but to
Yeah.
think about something like that,
Yeah.
it's just horrible. So that's why I wanted to, you know, that's why I made Humanize Death Row, because I wanted this to be all about family and all
mhm,
about, you know, people like Tremaine, and, you know, just allow them to have their voices and to show
mhm,
people that they are human. And whether the
mhm.
prison system has dehumanized them, we're trying to humanize them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Word.
Did you, during this time, did you feel like, you know, when the clock was racing every day, you know, was there a moment when things felt hopeful or a moment when, it felt like everything was collapsing?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
That's a great question. I mean, I think, like it was hard for me because so many of the family members were busy being family
Mm,
members at that
mm,
time.
Of
So it
course,
mhm,
was,
right.
which is understandable. But, it was just kind of like, we kind of just had to do it and not really ask questions or get permission or, we just kind of had to go with our instinct. And
mhm.
so,
Mhm.
for me, I'm a very hopeful person. I'm a very optimistic person, half glass full, glass half full type of person anyway. So I think for me, I had a lot of hope and belief
Mhm.
that he would live and that he would be spared and that things would be okay. But I will say this, from now on, he will, as Tremaine Woods Foundation, be advocating for no family or friends of family to ever have to wait until 1 minute left to decide for someone to live or die ever again. And that's something
Man,
that we will push for from this point on because waiting for that 1 minute, I mean, pushing the clock to 9:59.
Yeah, that was
I
kind of wild.
mean, no one deserves that. No one deserves that. His family didn't deserve that. No, and they knew before. Like, I'm sorry, but in my personal opinion, not speaking on behalf of the foundation, I believe they knew before the
he
1 minute
did.
mark. So
Mhm.
why would you do that to people? And that's once again, that's a humanity thing. Like, be human. Don't do that to people. Have some humanity about yourself and think about the effect this is having on so many people and not just his friends and family that are close to him. This is having an effect on other people in the community that are advocating that don't have any relationship with Tremaine or don't even know Tremaine or know his family, and they are pushing for this and they don't want to be stressed up to the last minute as to it just it's horrible. And so
It,
Yeah,
that's
that
one of
was
the things
awful.
that we're definitely going to push for is to have no family ever have to wait this long to the 1 minute mark to find out if their loved one is going to be executed.
it
Horrible.
was so stressful. I mean, I was watching the social media. I was just like, I couldn't
I
even
know.
hardly work. I was outside
I,
recess, and the kids were asking me questions. I was like, not right now, not
yeah.
right now. Just give me a
Yeah.
minute. And then by the time I got in the
I
classroom, I was
Yeah.
sitting down at my desk, and I was just like, I checked social media one more time, and I seen the Tremaine Woods Foundation said. I was like, yes.
Oh,
I was like, and I
Yeah.
fell to my knees and I cried. I mean, teachers were like high fiving. We were like,
oh,
oh my God. Yeah, they were like,
that's so
I
sweet.
mean, it was like teachers coming from the other classroom hugging,
Oh,
like, we got it, we got it, we got it, Remy. I was like, we got it. And it was just
love
like,
that.
man, I mean, they was like, they didn't even know Tremaine, but they was like, we feel like we know him. And, that he
Yeah.
was, they were fighting for them. I mean, they were signing petitions. They was like, his story was just like heart wrenching. They was like,
Yeah.
they cannot really kill this man. And it was
Hmm.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't even personally know Tremaine. I
Mhm.
really just advocated for him on the strength that A, he needed to be advocated for, and
Mhm.
because B, it was very important to Remy and stuff like that. I think we
Mhm.
stayed up pretty late the night before. We said a prayer. I think we almost cried.
we
Yeah.
fasted. I
We
didn't get
were
a chance to tell
fasting.
the
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, I
Oh
didn't get
my
a chance to
goodness.
tell Tremaine, but the guys in Texas were fasting.
We were
And
all
Yes, I
Christopher
saw your
Love,
fasting.
post.
who
Yeah,
is
I
the
saw your post.
co-founder, he was like, "Man, you
Mhm.
better tell Tremaine that I don't even pray." He said, "Tell him I prayed as hard as I can ever pray." I mean, he said I prayed the night before, and he was like praying the whole day. And when I
Oh,
finally got on the phone with them that later on that day, they was like, and it gave so many of them hope. That's what they said when that happened. They
absolutely.
couldn't believe it. They was like, "Man, that was hope right there, hope for us." But they was like, "Dang, he made it."
Yeah.
So it was a
Yeah.
beautiful.
So surreal. I
It
know.
was insane. Like
Yeah.
I remember I was, I was trying to call Remy. I was like, Remy, they gave this man clemency. And Remy
Yeah.
was like, I'm at work, I can't talk right now.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was so it was like a sigh of relief, bro.
Mm.
Like it was just it was
Most
insane.
definitely. Yeah,
It was
absolutely. It
insane.
felt like a huge weight was lifted. Absolutely.
For
Like
sure. For
immediately.
sure.
Immediately. Yeah, absolutely.
So now that
So,
Tremaine has received clemency, what's the
Mhm.
mission? What's
what's
the mission
next
to
for you
connect?
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah, so we are super excited about continuing this foundation's mission now that Jermaine's alive. Thank you, Jesus. And he can
Man,
help us. He
amen.
can, yes, he can make positive change. He can do what we expect from someone who is supposed to, the system is supposed to do to someone. You know what I mean? Like,
Hello.
yeah,
Hello.
let them make change and let
Hello.
them be a positive force in the world like they are
Hello.
supposed to.
I
So that's what
literally
we're
just made a video about this. Hello.
yeah. So that's what we're planning on doing. And so the mission is the best way I can break down the mission is in three important key pillars. And that is educational advancement and literacy, leadership development, and then advocacy for justice and fairness. And those are the three main focuses of Tremaine Wood Foundation going forward. So, um, that's though that's the focus, there are a lot of ways in which we can go about accomplishing that goal, and there are many things that we've already done in the past and that we're doing now and that we will continue to do in the future, including adding in some more events and things like that. So some of the things, like examples of some of the things that we've already been working on, so we have been involved in some fundraising programs for
Okay.
youth when it comes to like sports and things of that nature. We have also sent my sister, who serves as the vice president of the foundation, has gone out to Job Corps and spoken and done
Okay.
a guest speaking thing out there with them. And there were a couple of other events like that. We are also going to be looking into the future, the very near future, of putting together some events and some fundraising opportunities. So one of the things that we're going to be looking to do is to sign on some sponsors to maybe help out with sports equipment for young
Mm-hmm.
kids that are in sports in school. That way they can be able to afford everything that they need to be able to participate, and then also be a mentor to them throughout the season, whether that be helping them with keeping their grades on track, maybe being some sort of a mentor or a tutor, helping them just finding resources that are already available to them. Because a lot of students in school, they don't know about resources that are free and available to them, like the
They don't.
library or the public
Mm-hmm.
library or the resources on the internet. There are so many things, that are available. So we're just looking for, we want to eventually have some positive people to come on board with us and work with us to empower the youth. And then once again, we're also going to be working with some literacy. We have some different things we're going to be doing when it comes to books. And then leadership development. I know that there are some outings that we want to put together when it comes to leadership development and young men. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of things, and then the advocacy route. There's a lot of things like I talked about. We want to advocate for never having that happen again, where it comes up to 1 minute
Yes.
before someone's executed. And there are other things like we've already helped some other incarcerated folks be able to afford their representation when it comes to like an attorney or whatever, and things of that nature as well. So there are a lot of things when it comes to each one of those sections, whether it be youth development, education, advocacy for justice, all of those things. There are a lot of avenues that we can go and branch off into those different things. And we plan on doing it all. I mean, we really want to get out there and we want to let our voice be heard. We want to make positive change. And another thing that we really want to focus on when it comes to empowering the youth is to teach them the education when it comes to politics, because politics is involved in a
Very
lot
important.
of these things
Very
that we're
important.
Excuse me.
doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I know you ladies have probably learned a lot. I know I've learned a lot going throughout these processes and things that have
Mm-hmm.
taken place. So there's a lot that young people, if they have the tools in place now and they have the education in place now, that they can make better decisions for their future, and they can be able to get in those positions of power that we need people to be,
Absolutely.
those voices for our community. We need young people to be stepping in, whether it be voting, whether it be taking a leadership position and getting in that spot to be, in a position of power, and in politics, whatever that may look like. We want more of our community to be active on that politics side of things. So that's something that we're definitely going to be working on pushing as well.
Yeah, because
Very
that's
important.
important. That's
Very.
important, very important. Because our generation, the next generation, is the generation we need right now, and we need to empower them. We need to get them, all learn, teach them all about politics. I was trying to get my grandson, who is 19, to get out there and vote.
Yeah.
Teaching him about politics so he can get out there and vote and know what it's
Mhm.
all about. Because I felt like that was important,
Mhm.
especially now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need
Because it's.
we need we need these young people to want to be involved. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we need them to want to be active in these systems because that's where the change is going to come from, you know. As these older, generations start to trickle out, we need these younger generations to kind of take over that system. So we'll definitely be pushing for that. And like I said, education is really the key because the more you
It
know,
is.
the more power you have, the more knowledge, the more power. So, it's all about the education and getting the word out. And, we're not at a place right now where we can accept non-tax donations, but we're getting there. We will be at a place in the very near future. So I just encourage everybody who's been following Tremaine Wood Foundation to stick with us. Continue to
Okay.
watch our social media pages, continue to follow us, whether that be on Facebook, Instagram, X. Reach out to us on TremaineWoodFoundation.com and follow us because we are going to be putting these systems in place. We're going to be to a point where we will start taking in donations, and we're going to be to a point where we'll start putting on events, and we'll be asking for people to come in and
They
that
will
want to
be
get that
there.
want to be active. Yeah, there are
Eh,
people out here that want to be active. They want to help. They've seen what this sense of community can do and how we can all come together and make this change. So yeah, we're definitely going to be getting involved for sure in the community. So yeah, definitely watch us. Definitely keep an eye out for sure.
I love that.
And for those who are listening, who are inspired and who want to support, what
Mhm.
are some of the first small goals you plan to focus on, and how can people help right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the things that we're doing is, we're just trying to organize and kind of regroup. Because, like I said, a lot of the members of the foundation are his family members, like his mother
Right.
and his,
Hmm.
people in his family that are really just kind of taking the time to like digress after everything, which is totally understandable. So hopefully, once we can kind of regroup and get our wheels turning, we'll be able to start implementing some of our events. So, some of the things that we want to do, like, for example, coming up this summer, we want to organize an event to where, like I talked about, we could have some sponsors come in and sponsor kids. Like you pay a certain amount of money to sponsor a child, and that takes care of all of their athletic gear for the season. And just things like that. We're looking forward to that at least in the summer. And then when it comes to the fall time, like next fall, we're going to be pushing other things like looking into the literacy. I actually had a chance. I know you're going to ask me. I actually had a chance to talk to Tremaine a few days ago, and
Okay.
one of the things him and I discussed is, all the world's watching right now. The
Hmm.
world's watching Tremaine, and he understands that. And I think he wants to have his voice heard. I think I don't want to give too much information. I don't want to say
Of
too much
course.
yet,
Of course. Of
but
Okay.
course.
be
Of
be be
course.
be looking out for a project coming from Tremaine in the near future. I think that he's going to be telling his side of the story from his own mouth, and hopefully I'll be able to work with him on getting his story out. But yeah, just
Okay.
things like that. We're going to be pushing some fundraising events to raise money for kids, for literacy and advocacy, really raising money to help other people, like I said, like Tremaine, that just need maybe just a helping hand when it comes to advocating for themselves, when it comes to maybe finding someone that the right lawyer, or being able to afford a lawyer, or things of that nature. So those are some of the immediate goals that we hope to start working on right away.
Those are some good
Okay.
goals to have. For sure. For
Hmm.
sure. Thank you so much for giving us that little bitty insight into what you guys are going to be doing in the future. I appreciate that and you guys opening up about that. And if
Yeah.
you guys do get a chance to speak to Tremaine again, just let him know that we at Humanizing Death Row are definitely praying for him. We're very
Yeah.
elated and excited, and we were just stressing out, but we are good. He's alive, and we
Yeah,
are.
we was. We
We were
was.
I
stressing.
know.
We were
Yeah.
stressing. but
Yes,
I'm
Man.
glad that he's doing okay.
yes,
I'm
I
glad.
did. When I talked to him a few days ago, he was in good spirits. He sounded good.
Okay.
He's very thankful. And I will let him know that we had this podcast, and that you all are thinking about
Okay.
him and asked about him, and I'll let him know about the boys in Texas as well.
Yes.
And I did let him know, I think he knew what was going on a little bit on the
Hmm.
outside when the clemency was going on, but I don't think he realized what magnitude it got to, because
Hmm.
I was telling him, like, you were at a national level, like we reached a
He
national level.
was.
Yeah, we were on
And
the
I think
news.
he knew it, but then when I said the words TMZ covered your story, he
They
was like,
did.
"Wait,
Yes,
They
what?"
yes, they
did?
did.
Yes,
They
they
did.
did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
That's how
and
a lot of
so,
my coworkers knew about his trial because
and
of
then
TMZ.
also, the New York Times. The New York
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Times even wrote it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, "That's
Yeah.
national." Like, to me,
Love
that's
that.
national.
And
Love
Remy
that.
stepped
That's
out of her
pretty
comfort
good.
zone and went on the news.
Oh my
Yeah. So
goodness.
yeah,
Oh my God.
Yes,
that's
I was
something
like,
I've
Remy, you
never did
literally
before.
have to go
I
Oh,
on the news,
know.
bro.
I'm
you
You
let
pumped
have
no,
for
I've
to.
that.
never
That was
done
so
that.
good. That
Yeah.
was wonderful. That was wonderful.
I
But
was like,
yeah,
this is
no.
not me.
It's like, Remy, you literally have to do it, bro. Like, you can't just
You
not
did a
do
great
it.
job. You did a really
She
good
did
job.
so
I
good.
almost
Tell
said
her she
Yeah.
no,
did a
no.
good job. Because
Yes,
she
you
Yeah,
does
did.
not believe me.
You did a great job.
man.
And
She
we,
did a fantastic job.
it's worth, and it's worth it. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
It was worth
It
yeah.
it
was
for
all.
sure.
I think everything we did that took us, all of us, out of our comfort zones ended up being worth it in the end.
Man,
And
It did. It
I'm not,
did.
you're not
and
lying.
we would all do it all over if we had to again, if it meant the same result.
I'm
So
talking about I was falling asleep when I got off of work when I made that video. I was like, "Good evening, Governor Stitt.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Governor Stitt, Governor Stitt." Forgetting what I was about
Yeah,
hmm
to say. It was a
yeah,
mess, but
yeah.
it was all for it was a definitely like a learning experience. There were a lot of things that we potentially could have done better, a lot of things that we did great. And,
hmm
I'm just excited for the campaigns that we're going to have in the future because, we don't know what the future holds. But I'm just happy that, Tremaine got some exposure and
yeah,
he was able to receive justice because of small, grassroots organizations.
Hmm.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and
Yes.
that's another struggle. We were talking about struggles. That's another thing that we dealt with too. Is like the social media aspect of it was not easy. I know Remy and I had
Mm-mm.
several conversations, and
Yeah.
even I'm sure I probably talked to you a couple times too, because we couldn't get our posts
The boosting
to
situation. I'm like,
boost.
oh.
That was
We couldn't get
annoying.
our posts to boost. We couldn't get authenticated through Facebook for whatever reason. We're still
Then
having
some
issues with that. We're
posts,
still
they
working
weren't
on that.
Yeah.
some posts
So
they
much
weren't
red
able to
tape.
boost. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
so much
goodness.
red tape to get through. So that was another thing that I wish,
Yeah,
if
that's
I
super
would have
annoying.
known that was going to happen, I would have tried to work to get all of those kinks worked out before we went on
Yeah.
the whole social media
Yeah.
campaign. Because if I could have gotten that worked out prior to, then it wouldn't have been that. So yeah, that's just learning lessons. Just one of those things you figure out as you go. But yeah, it was, like I said, in the end, everything was worth it, and we're very happy with the outcome. And the outcome gave us more than one thing. It gave us Tremaine, and then it gave us another focus, because now we
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
not only the foundation, but we have another path of advocacy we have to go on, because nobody should ever deserve to have to go through what we went through waiting until 1 minute.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
we're
that
grateful
was
for everything,
that was
because
definitely insane.
boy,
So,
it's
as we
boy.
close tonight's discussion,
Hmm.
we are reminded that the fight for justice did not just end with Tremaine's clemency announcement.
Right.
It evolved from that, and
Mm.
a single act of mercy saved Tremaine's life and gave birth to greater reform of other complex social issues. So, the waiting until the last minute to decide for a clemency and, education, like we were talking about earlier,
Mm.
and the youth, getting them involved in
Hmm.
social issues and things of that nature. So,
Absolutely.
Tremaine's victory was not only an individual victory, but it was a victory that gives hope to the future of advocacy, and it showcases the power we have as advocates. We literally
Yeah.
could not have done any of that without God and without each other. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
super important that, we all experienced, this journey together, because we learned a lot, about advocacy. And I know I did anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. For sure.
All right.
So, grassroots organizations are also the heart of real change. And, tonight we are welcoming a new organization. So, Tremaine Wood Foundation, but like rebirthed. And
Yeah,
this partnership,
absolutely.
this partnership is more than, just humanizing death row and Tremaine working together, but it's a shared commitment to support, Tremaine, the Tremaine Foundation's mission, as well as our own, and speak up for those who are ignored, and push for the reforms our communities urgently need, like education, sports, things of that nature. Um,
Mm-hmm.
resources for the kids that
Mm-hmm.
they might not necessarily know about. So together we're going to build a movement that doesn't wait for change, but creates it. So
Mm-hmm.
before we close out, 1 minute left. Savannah, do you have any closing remarks that you want to say, Remy?
I mean, I think I would just say, I think on behalf of, Tremaine Wood Foundation and Tremaine, I think we just want to say thank you to the community again, to everyone, to any small act that you may have done, whether it been just being active on social media, sharing posts every day and liking and commenting and sharing, or whether it be you writing letters or emails or showing up and buying t-shirts and the whole nine. I mean, we couldn't have done all of this without you guys, without humanizing death row, without Tremaine's family, without just everybody. So his attorney team, lawyer team, everyone that's
Mhm.
done the work, that's put in the hard work. So just thank you on behalf of us. And I also want to say, once again, just watch our space. Please keep your eyes on Tremaine, keep your eyes on Tremaine Wood Foundation, keep your eyes on Humanizing Death Row. Watch what we do. Get involved when you can, advocate when you can. Continue to share our posts, continue to invite your friends to like our pages and things
Mhm.
of that nature, because it matters and it
It
helps.
does.
And the more support we have from the community moving forward, the more we will be able to do for more in the community, that really deserve it and that can really benefit from it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a lot looking forward to for the future, and we're excited about it, and we hope that you all will join us and
We
fight,
will.
continue to fight.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thank you guys so much, and thank you guys for having us on today.
No
No
problem.
problem. Like
Any
she
closing
said, make
remarks,
sure.
Remy?
No, just like I just want to thank you though for just joining us. Absolutely for your time. And like I said, just make sure you follow Tremaine Wood Foundation,
Hmm.
Twitter, Facebook,
Yep.
and check the website out.
Hmm.
Donate if you can.
Yes.
Again,
Thank you so much.
follow us. You can follow excuse me, I forgot the name of our organization. You can follow you can follow Humanizing Death Row, our podcast, 1 minute left on Podbean. You can also follow Humanizing Death Row on Facebook. We have 2 Facebook pages, so many Facebook pages. You can follow us on Instagram at prayer_advocate. And you can also visit the Humanizing Death Row website at humanizingdeathrow.org. And you can hit us up for more information. If you want to be an advocate, let us know. We need advocates. If you guys want to give us some donations, if you guys want to give Tremaine Wood Foundation some donations, they're very much appreciated and you're very much blessed for doing so. With all that being said, Remy just clicked off and I don't know what happened. So thank you. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for joining us. And
Thank
y'all have a
you.
fantastic night. And thank you and good night from Humanizing Death Row and the Tremaine Wood Foundation.